people come on here. Anyone over here who would like to share anything related to this week that they would want to work on, that they would want to hear about, that they would like to get any release done on, then now would be the time. Please raise your hand and we can have a conversation as well. Let's see who are the people here. Okay. Because we had asked you guys to send us on chat if there was anything that you wanted addressed. There's only 1-2 of you that have messaged us a couple of issues. So if we see more of you who are on board the same topics, the same thing, then we're going to cover those. Forgive the mess. We're currently in quarantine, mandated hotel quarantine. So we have strollers, bags everywhere pretty much because we're on our last day of quarantine today. When you enter Hong Kong, we still have compulsory quarantine going on. We're going to be finishing that today. It's been, in a way, a very relieving break as well. To just have a hotel where literally nobody can enter in and whatever you want has to be delivered at your doorstep because they're so worried about you spreading infection if you get out. So if there's anyone who has anything to share, anything to ask, now is the time. Please do that. That can be addressed. If not, we will move forward with what we're going to discuss today. One of the biggest things I want to discuss today with each of you is trusting your intuition. Now, that is a very, very big part of celebrating motherhood that is there. I see mostly women on here. I see Harshal also, who I know has just new babies. So I'm sure he's also going to benefit from that. And we have the topic of trusting intuition. When you're going to enter the role of a mother, or when you're actually in any role at all that you're in, when you're beginning any journey, especially when we're taking up a new job. Yesterday, we spoke about how being a mother is so much about learning on the job. You get there and basically any situation you would like to start with, every baby is different, every child is different as they grow up. Even if a person has twins, as they're going to grow up, they're going to develop into very, very different personalities. So we learn how to deal with those personalities. We learn what to do with them, how to answer to all their unending queries, and to be able to teach them certain valuable lessons, to be able to discipline them. All of those things come as learnings on the job. Now, when you're on a job, you're of course going to get a lot of people telling you what to do, how to do it better. That comes from people of the older generation, that comes from the people around you, even if they're the same generation. And it definitely comes a lot more in India. I think Hong Kong also has a very Indian culture, so to say. But if you go to Western countries like the US or UK, people couldn't be less bothered about what you're doing. And they're barely going to give you their 2 cents about what to do. They're all just struggling to get their own things together. And it's like you live your own life. I came to India recently. I was there for a few months. Everyone, including my house help, had an opinion on what I should do, on how my child is, on how my child should behave, on how I am as a mother. And it is amazing how, given a little level of comfort and like you value their opinion, they will all tell you very firmly how you have a stubborn child, how your child is spoiled in n number of ways, how you as a mother have no clue what you're doing, and how you need to be doing so much better. I remember a lot of moments where people were praising my children, right, for being, really sharp, for, interacting with outsiders so well, all of those things. In those moments, I do not remember one moment where someone came up to me and said, wow, you've done a really good job. But I do remember any moment that my child wasn't feeling well, decided to throw a tantrum, was exploring their own emotions, or simply testing their boundaries. Because that is what a 2-year-old does. That someone came up to me and said, you shouldn't be doing this. Aisa kyun kiya aapne? And they gave I remember my house help also giving me a full-blown lecture as to, you have spoiled your child. Your child is too stubborn. Your child always wants this. That is when I realized how strong labels are. I have two kids, for those of you that do not know. I have two kids under 2. Now my older one has turned 2. So I have two really, really small kids. I have a 7-month, now an 8-month old, and a 2-year-old. So even they have very different body types. One is a little stout, one is a little thin. They're both healthy kids, touch wood. They're both happy kids, touch wood. Okay. And I am happy with both of them the way they are. However, I cannot make you count the number of times somebody came and told me that one either eats too much, one either eats too less. The number of times the kids were pitted against each other and told, are you having this or should I give this to your brother? What happened is that even in a 2-year-old, I could see a developmental shift like this. I have a kid, Tachur, who just couldn't care less. He was happy doing what he was doing. I know we expect jealousy and everything to come in when a new sibling comes in. It did come in to a certain extent. But in general, he was quite oblivious of his existence. Or had a love-hate, like where he really wants to love them, or he's just in his own world. If his toy was taken away and given to another child, he would just go on and move to the next toy and play. It never affected him much. And that is something I had observed since before he had a sibling. Now what I observed is in just a few weeks of people coming him and telling him, are you eating or should I give it to your brother? Are you going to do this or should I go to your brother? He suddenly started feeling very possessive about his toys. Now he wanted to snatch things from his hand. Because a sense of ownership to your mother, to your things, to your food, which was not there before, started coming in. That is when I actually started thinking of how many of us, we say as kids, we have a divine nature, we have all these things. How many of us actually have taken this in as conditioning as opposed to how we actually felt? This might seem a little unreal to you, but the other day, my 2-year-old wakes up, okay, and he was just, like, if you tell me what's happening. So one thing I started saying to him quite regularly was, if you tell me what's happening, I can help you. If you're crying, I don't know what to do. I really want to be there for you, but I don't know what to do because I don't understand what's happening. So now he comes and he directly tells me, Mama, help me. And then he says whatever's there. So now the other day I was like, can you tell me what happened? Did you get some good dreams? Did you get some bad? What happened? Did you sleep well? And I know they seem like very sophisticated questions to ask a 2-year-old. I was told that also in the side-by comments that used to come from everyone. Look at you talking to him like he's 20. Look at you, because I ask him, I don't treat him like, oh, are you okay? I talk to him like a normal person, like I would want to be spoken to. How are you feeling? Did you sleep well? What did you enjoy doing today? And he has caught on. He knows how to answer these questions at 2. When I ask him how he will tell me if he's feeling sad. He's learning his emotions still, but that day suddenly he tells me, Mama, Zivan Buddha. So I said, are you saying that you're Buddha? And Buddha, Krishna, Ganesha as buddies. They talk every day. Oh, hi Krishna, hi Ganesha, hi Buddha, though I'm Jain, right? So he tells me this and I said, oh, that's interesting. Are you saying that Zivan is Buddha? He said, yes, Mama. Tanush also Ganesha. Which was, I had not asked him, what is your brother then and everything. But it gave such insight into how they see that divinity everywhere. They know, at this age at least, where they're under 3 years old, they're very in tune with their divine selves. And if we just hone that, there is so much potential out there. And I understand when people come in and say, see, I understand all these things. They don't believe in any of these things. What do? I face a lot of those situations as well. I have a housewife who doesn't believe in, oh, you have to talk nicely to kids, you have to talk softly to kids. But owing that I do want to work, I do want to do those things, I still need her around. I have a husband who comes from a different school of discipline and a different school of thought also. What I've learned through that is you trust your intuition and you do what's right for you at least. I was going to put up this quote today, and I really believe that God thought you were perfect for the job. That's why he made you a mother. Your child thought you were perfect for them. That's why they chose you as their mother. Why then are you sitting and proving yourself to the entire world, mother? Because most of the time, most of the struggle goes in showing and proving that no, I know what I'm doing. Can you please believe me and let me do what I'm doing? I want each of you to know that whether you've already been through that journey, whether you're going through that journey now, whether you're seeing someone go through that journey, it does not matter. Just the way that we say every child is unique, and we say that mostly when they're young. We don't say that so much when they're older. When a person complains of their kids who are in 10th, you will not say every child is unique and express their needs. And we rely on our intuition to figure out what is happening. If a baby is crying, it could be any number of things. They could be hungry, they could be sleepy, they could not be feeling well, they could just be wanting you, anything at all. That's when we say every child is unique. So maybe one child cried for this, but the other child is crying for something else. So whether a mother is breastfeeding or formula feeding, whether a mother chooses to sleep next to her child or put them in a separate cot or a separate room even, whether a mother chooses to work a lot of the times, or a mother chooses to be a stay-at-home mom, whether a mother chooses to discipline her child by being very gentle to them or being firm when it is required, whether she chooses to give them ice cream or oats for every meal, you've got to trust that this mother that kept them for 9 months knows what she's doing. Each of you have got to trust that your instincts, whether your child is 1 month old, whether you do not have a child, whether your child is 30 years old, whether your child is 50 years old, that your instincts are still alive. It is not only about trusting your mother instinct, it's about trusting your instincts in general. Each of us have an instinct for what is happening in our lives also. When we speak about our bigger goals, about what we wish to achieve in life, we need to remember to trust our instincts. When you think of anything that happened well in your life, think of any incident that you feel proud of, that you feel like, okay, you did something there. With motherhood, generally giving birth is quite a miraculous thing in itself. I remember my doctor telling me when I had 100 questions when I was first pregnant, going like, okay, so do I need to do this? Am I doing this right? Should I do this? Should I do that? She told me, Richa, you're pregnant. You're not ill. You're pregnant. Enjoy it. Did you teach your body how to fertilize that egg and make sure that it's growing life? No. It knew how to do it, right? If you could trust your body, trust your instinct for that, trust your body to do what it needs to do ahead. It's something it was very clear. It's something my body had never done before. But it knew exactly what to do. This child who's coming in for this knew exactly how to grow within. And where we decide to trust our bodies and we end up doing so many things while we're pregnant. I don't think anyone, unless they need to because of health reasons, is chained to a bed. Now everyone lives very active lifestyles, does what they want to do, does what they got to do. Trusting that their body is doing what they need to do. It's sending oxygen when it needs to, it's sending water when it needs to, it's sending food when it needs to. The worry starts when we think of, oh, now I have to take care of them. Now they're outside me. Now what am I going to do? Trust your instinct even then. Even if you're simply learning, even if you make mistakes, you dropped your kid by mistake, or if you forgot one thing by mistake, please trust your instinct. You know what works well. And this works even for people. And we have a lot of people who come in and, they'll talk about how they've become new mothers or they are mothers. And, they hear about how it's an overwhelming feeling where you just want to be around your kid. You want to nurture your kid. You want to be there for them. And then they say, but listen, I don't feel these things. I don't feel a very strong instinct of what should be done. I don't feel like, there are moms who say, I will do it. I want to do it. I don't want anyone else to do it. They're like, I don't feel any of those things. So am I wrong for feeling that way? Nobody is wrong. They're not wrong. So even as society, anytime that we might be tabooing moms because they don't look like the typical mom should to you, harrowed and in 100 places and doing everything perfectly. It's all right if a mom decides she just wants to go for a spa day and have nothing to do with her kids during that time. It's okay. She probably knows they're going to survive. They're going to be all right without her for 1 hour. Why is it that all the other members of the family are allowed to have that liberty where it's okay to not, if a dad goes on a trip and calls 5 times and asks if their children are okay, you'll probably tell them, listen, they're going to be all right. Focus on what you're doing. Focus on your work. Stop obsessing over your kids. And still, when a mother goes on a trip and if she just calls once or, she doesn't call to ask if her kids are all right, you'll be like, listen, don't you care about your kids? You should at least call and check on them. That's the least you can do. That time, 5 times is less than sufficient. Why? A mother is simply a female parent. She's in fact done a lot of the heavy lifting already. So cut her some slack. Only when you're a happy mom makes a happy child. That's the start and end of everything. A happy mom doesn't automatically happen when they have a happy child. A happy mom is not something, I've heard people use this so many times. Happy mom makes a happy child. So start being happy. They won't ask you whether you're doing the things, whether you have the time to do what makes you happy. You just have to be happy because you have to do it for your child. So go and ask her what makes you happy. Does it make you happy to go shopping for 1 hour? Does it make you happy to have a full night's sleep? Does it make you happy to go to the spa for an hour? Do it. A happy mom makes a happy child. A happy mom is one who knows she's doing all right. Take a moment to see a mom around you and compliment her for the job she's doing. She's definitely doing something right. So take a minute to compliment her, give her that sort of, spark of joy at least, because she deserves it. Parenting has become an equal role now, and people have a lot to say about that. But fathers want to be more involved with their kids as well, and it's incredible. So accept moms for who they are, whatever work they're in. Everyone's situation is different, and you do not know what that situation is. But a happy mom does make a happy child. A happy mom is one who's filling her pot regularly. She's taking care of herself regularly as well. You can only pour from a full pot. You cannot pour from an empty pot. Don't wait for that tank to go to almost empty when you start pouring. Let that refueling happen. You will see automatically they will be more attentive, more present, happier. Okay. Let postpartum depression, very true thing. It's not a myth. It happens to a lot of moms. It does not mean they are weak. It simply means they have emotions and hormones, and their body is processing that a certain way. Just the way a certain movie could make me sad and make another person feel nothing. It's how our emotions and our hormones are processing something. If you see someone struggling, get them the help they need. Let her fill her pot. Let her have some self-care, even if it is in the minute of a 5-minute loo break, which they need. Have some appreciation. Trust your instinct. When you trust your instinct and when you know, okay, at least I'm doing the best I can, you will automatically feel a lot more at peace with the process. All right. And then allow yourself to go ahead with it. Applies even as your kids grow up. As your kids grow up, you're probably worried, and because we have a lot of moms here who have kids who are a lot older. Like we said, motherhood is an instinct that doesn't simply go away as your kids grow up. Then you start dealing with what we spoke about in the generation gap module of, I know I could save them from a lot of heartbreak. I know I could save them from a lot of grief if they just listened to me. If they just listened to me, knowing that I have their best interest in mind, I could make this so much easier for them. You will always want to make something easier for them because that's who you are. That's what a mother wants to do. But at that point, understanding that each soul here comes on their own journey of learning. It doesn't matter what you could or could not do for them when they were younger. This instinct is always going to stay. But understanding they're on their own journey of learning and they need to learn at their own pace. That is something I'm learning very early on when my kids are 2 years old, when my kid is 8 months old. You know, we say do not rush their milestones. One child will start walking when they're 10 months old. One child might start walking when they're close to 2 years old. When we trust that, when we're okay with accepting that, though you're probably getting a little fidgety when your child hasn't started walking, but you know there's nothing you can do about it. You can only give them things that will stimulate the situation, but you cannot do it for them. I cannot start walking for my child. They have to do it themselves. I can only be there by their side, encourage them, but I can respect that one child does this at 10 months, one child will do it at 2 years. When I can respect that when they're younger, we've got to take that same respect to when they're older and understand that letting my child know I'm here for them, letting my child know I have their best interest in mind, letting them know if they need me, I'm here, but they got to do this themselves. It's going to have more empowered kids and more empowered, less anxious moms with less guilt, with less resentment as to why their child is not listening to them. They're on their own journeys. Make your own transformation so strong that your example speaks for itself. At that point, there's no point to prove. Get off the struggle of having to make your point and show people that, yes, this is the correct approach. Just live the example. I have a situation where I have people constantly using a loud voice to talk to the kids and tell them and want to discipline them that manner. I went through a lot of back and forth of explaining them this is not what we should be doing. Can you please stop doing this? Did not work. In fact, I was told, you're telling everyone this is not what to do. You read up a lot of things on Instagram, you new age moms, you all have a theory about how to talk to kids, how to feed kids, how to do this, how to do that. This is not how it is. You don't need to tell everyone around you how to parent your child. So I wasn't allowed to tell my servant what to do. I wasn't allowed to tell my parents what to do. I wasn't allowed to tell my family friends what to do. But they were all allowed to tell us what to do because they knew. And there's nothing wrong with it. It all comes from a good place of caring and loving. But it was like everyone doesn't know what to do, but you know what to do. Because you're reading up these things. That's when, for me also, just trusting my intuition, taking a deep breath and deciding, you know, when my child comes to me, at least this is what I'm going to do. And I see the difference in a 2-year-old coming, and anytime he comes to me, other places you throw tantrum. When he comes to me, he'll give me something and then say, thank you, mama. He just uses words like thank you, how are you? If he sees someone crying, he says, don't worry. Because he knows that this is, it's like they understand. My child knows that if he goes to my help and they speak Hindi, to speak to them in Hindi. If he goes to someone who speaks Gujarati, he speaks in Gujarati. He comes to me, he speaks in English, because that's how I primarily talk to him. When kids understand that at such a young age as to what language to use where, they also understand the subtler languages that are there of communication. Yes, there are a lot of mixed messages reaching them, but we do what we can do best. Use that for your adult children also. Assure them you're there and your guidance, you have certain expertise in that area, but let them then come to you. Treat their milestones also like we treat a baby's milestones. They will get there when they are ready to get there. My job, of course, if I've taken it on, firstly, it's not your job, it's completely voluntary after a certain age. Okay. If you want to take it on, understand your job is to stimulate it, to create an environment where they feel supported. The baby is not talking, a baby is not walking. We create an environment where they feel like walking, where they feel like they can do it, where we keep talking to them, where we hold them and help them walk. But we cannot do it for them, and we accept that. So simply accepting that they will get there when they have to get there. Let me just let them know that if you want to do it, I am here for you. Okay, and that'll make the process a lot easier for you. You will stop building on all the mom guilt, all the resentment that might be coming upon. Why are they not listening to me? Now, what happens when you have adult kids and then they are suffering is one part of your heart yearns out to them, but one part of your heart goes like, if they only listened to me. And in that, even your emotion gets diluted. So let's stop doing that. Let's give kids an opportunity knowing they know what they're doing. And let's give ourselves a chance knowing that we know what we're doing. And please look around yourself, find a few moms, tell them what they're doing right, compliment them on that. I've seen this behavior everywhere. Till you're pregnant, I traveled at that time. Oh my God, it's amazing, because I don't know whether they feel like it's a risk, liability, whatever, but they treat you like amazingly. If I asked for 3 seats when I was pregnant because I wanted to stretch myself, I was given 3 seats on an airline, paying for one. You're asked to go ahead in all queues. Everyone wants to pick up your bags. Everyone is sort of, picking up your bags, supporting you, going like, are you okay? Do you need some more water? Do you need something to eat? Do you need something to drink? Pop, the baby comes out. You still need help picking that bag up, because now you're lifting a baby along with that. But now you can do it all. It's like you gave birth to a baby. You're superhuman. You can do everything. Suddenly you're annoying to them on the plane because your baby is crying, or just because you have a baby. Suddenly you are given that one seat only to sit with for yourself and for another human being. There's a lot of difference. So let's change that in society. The minute we are going to change, and there are lots of women out here, and the reason I keep saying this is women, men, all alike, when our mindset shifts, when we see that as an equal job, when we see that as something that is to be celebrated rather than pressured upon. Mothers don't want laurels. They know what they're doing right. A little appreciation is great, but they don't need crown upon crown to hold the weight over here and have headaches happen all the time over here. Simply give them a breather. Give yourself a breather. Trust your instinct. Be a happy mom. Okay? Be a happy self for yourself. All right? It applies even if a person is still wanting to get pregnant. You're going to be happy. You'll see how quickly you attract that energy to you also. I'm going to go in and quickly see if there's any downloads to do. So when I download for each person here that I know and understand, the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of trusting my instincts, that I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to trust my instincts, to know what I'm doing, to know and understand that my higher self, that the roles that I'm playing, that the responsibilities that the universe has given me and that I have undertaken are always to my capabilities, and I know that I allow myself to trust my instinct as I choose to perform each of these roles. I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to live my daily life being able to trust myself and trust my instincts. That I choose to trust my instincts, that I know what it feels like to live upon my instincts and to have them honored and respected, to honor and respect my own instincts. That I know and understand the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of growing, and I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to grow ahead in life and for me to see growth within me, growth around me in a very healthy manner without the need in me to want to jump in and do everything myself. That I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to trust the process, to trust the universe, to trust my kids, and to trust myself, to know and understand that each soul comes here for a purpose, and that it is safe and possible for me to know that this purpose that they've taken on and the journey that they have chosen to make is divinely guided and orchestrated at all times, and that I choose to trust their process, trust their instincts of those around me, and to trust myself, my process, and my instincts as well, to know that I am in the divine flow of being, to know that divinity flows within me, and that I have the universal balance within me, that I allow myself to be in synchronicity with this universal flow and balance, and to allow myself to live in harmony, peace, joy, and balance now and always, to allow unity within myself and around me, that I know what it feels like to allow the balance of yin and yang within me, to know and let me feel complete, and to allow the joy, peace, and balance around me to manifest as well. That I trust my instincts, I trust my journey, and I allow myself to enjoy my journey now, knowing that it is safe for me to enjoy the journey. It is possible for me to have a happy persona as I enjoy my journey. That I know and understand the creator of all that is his definition and perspective of happiness. And I know what it feels like, how to, when to, and that it is safe and possible for me to be happy. That I choose to be happy, that I choose to take care of myself, and to know that I can take care of myself and what fills my cup without feeling selfish about the same, that I choose to feel happy today and every day, that I choose to nourish and nurture myself before I nurture those around me, to know that I have the balance of who to nurture, when to nurture, how much to nurture, and that it is safe and possible for me to enjoy this nurturing process in a happy and joyous manner, in a peaceful and balanced manner, that I understand peace and balance now as per the universe and the creator of all that is his definition and perspective, to know that I am balance, I am joy, I am peace, and I am love. And it is safe for me to be these things and to live my daily life with these elements now. I choose happy. Can I download this for each person into every cell, atom, molecule of their body, every area of their life, at all four levels of their belief systems, in any and every language ever known or understood by them, for the highest and best, in the highest and best manner? Say yes to receive the downloads. To simply see each of y'all in the divine light, simply twirling and twisting, twirling and twisting, releasing any of the labels, notions that were attached to you while you were on this journey of what you're doing wrong, of what you're doing right, of how you should do those things. I see those as I'm doing the downloads for everyone as a big thing that's getting in the way. So simply allow yourself to be cleared and cleansed of that energy and divinely balanced by the energy of the universe, of the creator of all that is, of unconditional love. Simply allowing yourself to connect to your true self, to connect to your divine element, to connect that same instinct that taught you how to birth a child, how to nourish them. You each have that divine instinct within you, whether that is in relation to birthing a child or in relation to living your life purpose. That divine instinct exists within you. And it's time to reconnect to that now. So simply see yourself in that white light. Clearing and cleansing, clearing and cleansing, clearing and cleansing. And reconnecting, reconnecting, reconnecting to that divine instinct within you. Embracing and accepting that divine instinct within you like this warm shade of golden light that's entering your energy. Embrace it, accept it, feel happy and joyous at the existence of it. And as you do, automatically you will see that energy warm up your entire being. Enough so that you can radiate with that energy, that you can shine. Know that it is safe for you to shine. You're meant to shine. And as you do, allow each of the downloads that we spoke of earlier to get fully absorbed within your being. Your being to understand the meaning of those, accept them, and allow those to be principles you can live with as well. Just feeling one in that divine light, take your time to ground yourself, to feel integrated with the divine within you, to feel balanced and one with your being. To feel this energy freshly in and around you. Whole, complete, accepted, grounded, happy. And whenever you feel ready, take your time. Whenever you feel ready, you can come back to this room and open your eyes. Just let everyone come back. Okay. So have a beautiful day, everyone. Stay with that energy a little bit more. And I'll see each of you tomorrow. Have a good day.